Good morning, everyone. So today's session will start with jQuery events, and I hope that you have already finished your yesterday's exercise. I request again, please, to perform all the activities and all the exercises provided to you in the theorem folder. And if you have any questions or if you have any doubts related to exercises or activities, you can please ask me anytime. So the first session, I will explain how we use events in jQuery. If you have a background of jQuery, you know that how to write a code to perform any event in jQuery. But if still you have any doubts, or if you don't know how to use that, then I will just give a brief idea how we use events in a jQuery. So before we start to do any the coding part, first let's see what is jQuery events and how it works. As you know that every action has a reaction. So it meaning to say is, for example, let's say every morning I want to wake up and I put alarm on my mobile phone, and maybe I want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So whenever that in the morning at 5 o'clock my alarms ring and I need to wake up, and then it means I have to handle that event, and then I will close that alarm. So same thing happens here in my programming. Whenever any event occurs, you need someone there who can handle that event and give the response to that event, okay, or will respond according to the event. Now, as you can see on the screen, what I'm writing over here is an event is a mechanism that allows a piece of code to run when something happens. It meaning to say is what I want that whenever I perform any action, for example, let's say I clicked on my button, I want that a piece of code will run at that time, okay, and any action which I want to do. So who handles event in jQuery? I have event handlers who handles the event, or there are jQuery events method who handle the event. Let's try to look this with the animation which I have created for jQuery events. Just give me a second. This one. Okay now? think there is a technical issue, so please give me some moment. Okay, thank you. So just go through this animation. This is regarding how we use jQuery events.
You must have clicked this animation file to view it. What happened when you clicked the file? The file must have gotten launched and started playing. Do you know what this is called? This is called an event. Whenever an event occurs, you need to handle it. In jQuery, events are handled by using the event listeners or predefined event methods. Here, clicking on the animation file generated a click event, which in return triggered a function that opened the file for your view. This is just one example of an event. There are many other examples of events, such as key down and key up. The key down event occurs when a key on a keyboard is pressed by a user. The key up event occurs when a user releases a key on a keyboard. Any web application you develop is incomplete without events. Events make the web application dynamic and increase user interaction with the application. All events are generated with reference to an object. An object is passed to an event handler for further action. jQuery provides simple methods such as bind and on for attaching the event handlers to events of selected elements. For example, if you want to display an alert showing a message, "Welcome," whenever the user clicks the sign in button, you can attach a click event with the button using any of these methods.
So this is what how jQuery events works. It might be there is a synchronization problem, so I request you to download all animations from your TRM folder and then have a look for this. So I will give one simple example how jQuery events works. Just try to understand in this example. My picture. Okay, so just have a look in this program. What I'm trying to do is I create two buttons, and I want that whenever I press the hide button, it will hide the paragraph, and whenever I press the show paragraph, it will display the paragraph. Now, as you can see, when I press the hide paragraph, it hides the paragraph, and when I click the show paragraph button, and it displays the paragraph. Now for this, I am writing a simple jQuery coding. Just a simple example. Remember one thing: whenever I want to use a jQuery, every time I need to add the library file for jQuery. So either you can download this, or you can do one thing, you can just add the CDN of that. Okay, so better practice is you can use a CDN if you are always connected with the internet. Now just try to understand what I am trying to do is I am going to use this button ID over here, and what I am saying is I want to hide the paragraph and I want to display the paragraph. So I am using a ID selector at this place, hash btn and dot click. When I say dot click, it meaning to say is I want to use the default event of the button, that is a click event, and I want that whenever I click on this button it will hide the paragraph. Now this is one simple example. If you know the jQuery, you understand this. Then the second a function I am creating over here, that is with a ID selector btn2. Over here it is given, and what I said is p.show. So simple example how I can use jQuery events. So moving forward now, I'm talking about jQuery event object now, and event object, what is just try to understand what is an event object first. An event object is a source upon which the event occurs. Now whenever I am talking about event object, why I use the event object, basically there are different uses, and first thing you can see here is it is used to determine the nature of the event and to control the event default execution behavior. Now I want to know that if I want to fire the event, which event it is there. For example, if I press the mouse, or maybe I press the mouse and mouse button, which button? Maybe the left button or maybe the right button. Or if I use a keyboard, so which key I press? Okay, maybe the keyboard I have a different event. For example, I press the key, it means key down. When I release the key, it means key up. So we have a different type of events, and to check which kind of event I have, there is one a property which I can use is which. As you can see on the screen, I have properties and methods to use with events, page X and page Y. This is a property which I use to determine the location of my, maybe where I maybe use the mouse pointer. For example, if I press mouse somewhere, I want to know where is the position, pixel position where I pressed on my screen. So page X and page Y. Then I have another is type. I want to know which type of event. Okay, so we have a different type of event. For example, I have a type event, okay, or I have a click event. Now another is which, as I explained, I want to determine that which kind of event I just used, maybe the key event or maybe the mouse event. Then I have another is data. It is used to refer the content, or you can say the message which I pass with my event. I will give the example of this later. Then we have a target. A target refers to the DOM element which initiates the event. It means who generated that event. Okay, and then is prevent default. For example, let's say if I have a button or I have a link tag, and I want that, for example, everyone knows that when I use a button, default event is click. Or if I use a tag, the default event is click. So when I want that one element cannot perform his default event, what I can do is I can use a prevent default function. Okay, other as properties, and only the prevent default is a function. I will give you the example of prevent default here. Look at this example. See here, I want that whenever I run this page and I have created one link, and I want that whenever I click on this button, you can see I tried to click this link, but it is not going to that URL. It is not opening that URL. So what I have did here is I tried to use one jQuery event. You can see there, this place I am making one link. I use a tag, and where I am referring to nit.com. Now at this place you can find I use the jQuery event, and I said a tag, and which event I am saying, a click event, and I want to stop it. I want that whenever I click on this link, it will not perform the click event. So I said event dot prevent default. So it means whenever I will click on this, it will not open that. Okay, this is how I can prevent the default behavior of my event in a jQuery. Then the example which I just explained, that how we use events in a jQuery, simple. I will use either the name of the element, or I will use the ID selector, or I will use the class selector along with my event. This is how I create or I use a event in a jQuery, any type of event that may be. Then at point of time, it may be you want to use a HTML element. Let's say, for example, you want to use an HTML element, and that element, it may be the button. Let's say, for example, a button, and I know that on a button I can perform a click event. Okay, so it may be I want to use more than one event with that button. It meaning to say is what, I want to bind more than one event with that particular HTML element. So in such a scenario, what I will do is I have two options. First option is either I can use a bind method, or second option is I can use a on method. Okay, so using these two methods, I can do what, I can attach more than one event with my HTML these two functions, bind and on, have their same functionality. Bind and on have the same functionality, but if I am using a bind, it meaning to say is whenever I want to perform an event, and to perform an event I need maybe an element. That element must need at that time when I am going to perform a event. For example, let's say I have created one paragraph, and I want that whenever I click on that paragraph, that event will fire. Okay, I can use a bind. The same time I want that whenever my mouse hover on that paragraph, event will fire. Okay, so I will use a bind method. But think that yesterday I told you sometimes I also use a jQuery to perform some actions at the runtime. Now just think that I want to fire a event on the paragraph, but that paragraph is not created yet, and that paragraph maybe I want to create at a runtime. And now I want that if I create a paragraph at a runtime, now I want that event, means the event which I want to fire will also apply on that element which is a future element. Future element means the element which I will create later. So at that time I will use a on method. So I repeat again, I have two methods. One is bind and one is on. On means what? I can perform the event with my current elements, and I can also perform my event with my future element. But if I use a bind will do what? It will help me to perform the action, but that element must be there. Okay, must be there means it will just perform an action on the present elements, not for the future elements. Okay. And then is data, and then is a function. Okay, now you can find over here these are the parameters given in this bind method: selector, and then is event, and then is data, and then is a function. This is the data which I was talking about, that sometimes maybe I want to send some content along with my event whenever I fire a event. So I will give the demo for this also. So I was talking about the parameters passed inside the bind function. Have a look. First is a selector. It may be any element name, ID selector or a class selector. Then is an event. Which event you want to use? Maybe I want to use click, or maybe a mouse over, maybe any other event, blur, or maybe any other event you can use. Then I have a data. You can see here when I am using the data, it is an optional parameter. It is not always required. And why I use this? You can see it refers to the data that need to be passed to the function. Means some content I want to pass to the function, which I will call whenever I fire the event. Now I also have another parameter which is a function. Why I'm using this function? It is the name of the function that should run when the events occur. It meaning to say is whenever I will fire an event, I want that some action will happen, and for that I need a function. Another parameter I have is a map. It meaning to say is what is the use of a map? An event map that refers to the list of event. Just try to understand what is the meaning of this. Sometimes with one element I want to add more than one event with their event handler. It meaning to say is, let's say for example I have a button, and with my button I also want to perform a button click event. Okay, so I will write the name of the event. Name of the event is click, and to handle that event I will use one function. So it means with the map I will use a event name and the function name. So this is for one event. Maybe with my button I also want to use a mouse over event. So for that I will write the name of the event, and I will give the name of the function. So all these things I will give the practical demo, so at that time you will understand better. Okay. The content which I will use in my practical demo is also written over here. So better I will explain in the practical demo the same thing which is written over there. Okay. So I will open my program here now. If you have any doubts, you can just ask me the same time, okay? Just try to understand. In this initial example, what I am trying to do is, I am trying to use a bind method, and I am trying to use only one event with my bind method, okay? Only one event. So that you can just, after that you can relate that initially I was using a one event and now I am using a two event or more than two events. So initial example you can find on the screen. What I am trying to do is, I said I want to use a button, and with that button I want to bind a click event. You can see over here, bind click event. It means the first parameter with the bind method is required. I must give the name of the event. Okay, so then I am giving the name of the function. As I said, when I bind the event, I will give the name of the event and I will give the name of the event handler. So it meaning to say is, whenever the click event I will perform a click event with my button, this action will happen. Okay, so simple example, I use a button, click me, and when I press that button, you got a message, click event occurred. So this is one simple example in which I try to use a bind method with only one event. Okay, let's try to have another example here now. In that example, I will try to use more than one event with my bind method. So look at this example now. I use a hover. I have one button. I want that whenever my mouse comes to that button, you can see over here. Okay, you can see the font color and the size change, and whenever I took my mouse off from that button, you can see. So it means to say is I have two events now. Look at the example. Pankaj, someone cannot see the screen. So someone saying that he cannot see the screen. Let's have a look. Okay. Now you can find in this example what I am trying to do is I am using again the bind method. The two events I am trying to use here now. You can see mouse over and mouse out, and with that I am trying to use a function, and inside that function what I am trying to do is I am using a button dot toggle class. Okay, a toggle class, and it meaning to say is what I want that whenever I use this demo, whenever I come to my button, whenever my mouse comes to this button, I want that the font size, okay, and the font color will change. So for that, in our this part, I'm saying I want to use a class, and that class name is what? Intro. And where is this intro class? This is given in my CSS. Okay, so button dot toggle class. So this is the name of the function which will work as a toggling class, means on and off. So if I will use a mouse over, so intro class will work, and whenever I will take off, okay, it will do what? It will remove the intro class. So this is one simple example. I am using a mouse over and mouse out. I was also saying that at point of time, maybe you want to send a data to the function along with your event. Now look at this example. What I am trying to do is, first I will show the demo. Look at this place. I try to launch this program, and when I launch this program, I use one button, and in this button I have a message, click me. I clicked on that button, and you got a message, you just clicked me Okay, now look at this example here. Try to understand. I am using one function, okay, and what is the name of the function? Name of the function is handler, okay, and when I create this function, inside that I pass one parameter e. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to display a message in an alert box. So I said e, and as I said, when I use an event, with an event there is one property named data. So I said e dot data, and then I use a property is message. So whatever is a message which I passed in this place, you can see over here. When I bind this click event with my button, I passed one property here, message. Okay, and what was the message? You just clicked me. This is the data parameter which I was talking in my maybe 5-10 minutes ago. I said that when I use a click event, I have some properties, and data was one of them. So this is how I can, you can see this is something which I am passing to my function, and which function? A handler function, this function. So this is going to this place, and then it is coming to the handler function, and with this parameter I said e dot data dot message. Now when I click this, it displayed a message to me, you just clicked me. So Puneet, I hope that you got a message. Okay, you see, this is not a predefined over here. What I did is I create a function whose name is handler. I changed the name. Now you can find over here, I changed the name handler data. Okay, and this handler data I choose over here now. Yeah, any other person? Is there any doubt?
Sir? Yes, sir. That is an event source. Hello?
Yes, Puneet, good morning.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Morning, sir. Very morning. Sir, is an event source.
Pardon?
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Sir, I'm just asking, is an event source which you are passing into it?
Yeah, I am passing this parameter, and whenever I want to I want to handle an event, okay, and
yes.
To handle that event, what I'm trying to do is I'm using a bind method, okay, and over here I pass a parameter.
Sir, that parameter refers to an event
Yeah,
source.
that parameter refers to the event source.
Okay. And this message is a key to that.
This is the property which I defined over here. This message.
Means we can define multiple properties
also see here,
while passing this message to the.
Just have a look. This place. Okay.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. Understood, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Now.
Okay, sir. Understood. Thanks.
Yes. Any other person? Is there any question? So something which I was trying to explain, I will bind more than one event. I already explained. I give a demo in which I use a mouse over and mouse out event, and I was also expecting to give one example to you in which I will use a parameter which is a data. Okay. One more example which I want to explain. I told you that inside the bind method I can use a map. Okay, map. I told you that when I use a map, it means I will club the more than one event, and I will put together, and I can maybe fire a multiple event with a bind method. So let's look at another example over here, and I am giving this demo. This demo is related to a bind method again, and the parameter which I will pass inside that is a map. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen now, and this is the parameter which I am talking about, map. Okay, you can also see the constructor here, selector, bind, and map. And what is the exactly use? As I said, I will use a map parameter, and that refers to the list of events. Means I will club more than one event together and their event handler, and I will pass inside the bind function, and I can perform more than one event together with my bind function. So let's try to look with example, the same example over here now. So I have this is test one message, and I have a click me button. Now you can see over here, whenever my mouse come over to this button, so it means mouse over event is fired, and when I take my mouse off from this button, it means mouse out event is fired. And if I click this button, you can see when I click this button, it means toggling. I'm trying to toggle it, okay, on and off. So I see. Okay, so I am trying to use multiple events in this example. I will explain this example now. Just try to understand. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. So what exactly I am doing is I am using a paragraph, simple paragraph, and then I try to use a button. A click message is click me. Coming to my script part here, I said button dot bind. Now when I use a bind over here, in earlier example you can see I was giving the name of the event here like this. Okay, but in this example I am giving as a collection. Okay, as a collection means more than one together. It is just like an array over here again. So you can see bind, and then this place curly brace begin, and I am giving the name of the event which I want to fire. A click is the event, and I said that whenever I use a map, I will add event and event handler together. So I said click is the event and handler is what? This is my handler. And what I did is I said I want to create a function, and that function will do what? Slide toggle. Slide toggle is one function in a jQuery which will do the toggling of my any HTML element. So when I click on the button, it will one time it will disappear. If I click the same button again, it will appear. So this is the first example. Then you can see over here, after that, this place, this is the first option. I use a comma over here. Then after, I try to use another event, and I try to add the CSS part over here. I said mouse over, and I use a function, and I give a CSS. I said body.css background color this. Okay, and I also try to change the button, and I give the button color is red. After that, you can see I try to use a mouse out event. Okay, and then I close this. So this is the example in which what I am trying to do is I am trying to bind more than one event together, okay, but what I am doing is the handler, you can see over here, and the event are clubbed together and put into one array, okay. This is another example of a bind method. If you have a question, then you can ask me. Any questions? Anything you do not understand? Then you can ask your question, please. Remember, bind method I will use only at that time when the element is already present in my web page. I cannot use bind method for my element which I will create in the future. Okay? Yes, please. If you have any doubt, please raise your question. So, no question. Okay, moving next then. So, this slide I already explained in example. So, I'm coming to my own method. You can see on the screen now, I have a own method, and it enables you to attach one or more event handlers for the selected element and the child element, as I said earlier. Okay, the syntax is same as the bind method. Okay, same syntax. Only one thing which I already explained, which is new for own. Remember one thing, that these own and this method is introduced new, okay, jQuery 1.5 I think, and earlier we use a method which was a delegate. Okay, delegate method we use in earlier jQuery. So that delegate method is deprecated now, and thus a new a function on is introduced now. So nowadays in jQuery 2.0 or 2.1 we always use a on method. If you will try to use on method and if your jQuery is older jQuery, it will not work. In your SG it is written there in a note. Okay, so whenever you are using on method, please make sure that you are using the latest version of the jQuery. So next I will explain the example of on. Remember, I will give the example of on with the future element. Okay. So I hope that you can see my computer now, and I am giving another example of on. Before I start this, I can just let you display. You can see over this place. When I create this web page, in this web page, I have a button and I have a paragraph. And in this paragraph, I am giving a message: click any paragraph to make it disappear. Okay. So it meaning to say is what? It means that this paragraph. Whenever I click on this paragraph, if I clicked on this paragraph, it will disappear. Okay, so if I click on this button, it will help me to add a new paragraph, as you can see over here. Okay, now this is something I want to do. If a paragraph which is already there, that paragraph should also disappear, and if I create a new paragraph, that paragraph will also disappear. Okay. So look at the coding now. Giving one message in my paragraph and a button, and then coming to my script part over here, I use a button, and with my button I use a click event, and you can see over here I'm trying to create one paragraph at the runtime. So what I'm saying is, you can see button dot click, and when I use a function, inside that function I am trying to make one element over here. You can see this place. See, this is new paragraph, and I'm using one method whose name is insert after. And insert after meaning to say is this function will do what? It will insert something after the element name which I'm giving over here. So I'm giving the name of the element is button. I said you can insert a paragraph after the button element. Now I said div on click p function. Okay, just think that I am not using a on and I am using a bind. Try to understand. And see, I clicked on that paragraph. Oh. I used what I said, div click p bind, and then I said when I click on this, hide this. Okay, this dot hide, so paragraph will hide. But I want to work with my own, so I am going to use on method here now. And if I run this page, if I click on this, okay, if I click on this, again I click on this, it will add a paragraph, and whenever I click on that paragraph, you can see actually I think I'm not using my video. Pankaj, just see, are you broadcasting my video with this or not? Because someone is saying that can you remove your video? You can do one thing, just hide my video and just let the student display only the desktop screen. Okay, now make sure that whenever something like this, just close the video. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So this is one example. I'm trying to use on method here, and I want that whenever I click on paragraph, it will hide. Okay. So any question related to events? If have a question, then we can clear the doubts, and then I will perform one activity. If you remember yesterday, I showed one example to you related to event. So first I will give some demo of the event, then I will proceed next. If you have a question, then please you can ask the question. Some handy examples I am trying to give here in my lesson number 7, especially in activities. So this activity we already performed yesterday. So today we will perform the next activity, and this is inside the food hub. Just try to understand what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make one contact us a form, and I have tried to use some form validation in this example. I want that when someone try to submit this try to submit this form and click this submit button, all fields you need to add. Another thing over here, you can see over here, this is the first name. Whenever my focus is on this first name list, you can see the color is changing, and the text which I will write, any text which I am writing in small, for example, you can see over here I'm trying to write in small. With jQuery events I am trying to make it in uppercase. Another thing I'm trying to make over here is if I try to enter the name which is a numeric value, at the present time I'm trying to enter a first name, but I'm trying to give the numeric value over here, and I want that if someone is doing something like this, he is not allowed to add the number value in a first name. It must be a ABCD alphabetic, okay, not a numeric value. So this is one validation I am performing here. Second thing, I'm trying to make it in uppercase. Same thing over here in the next case, next example here. First name and last name are same. I'm trying to use a phone number, and inside the phone number, if someone is trying to add a ABCD or any alphabetic, I want to restrict that person. Another example over here, I want that if someone is adding the number, okay, you can see he can add number, but I want to restrict him to maybe the 10 numbers only, okay. No other symbol, no other character, only number value inside this, and that too only 10 numbers. Next I have is email ID. I want to make sure that someone is writing the email ID, and that must be a valid email ID, okay. And if I'm trying to give the numbers, okay, 9 numbers, and name, this is name, this is fine, okay. And your email ID, okay, email ID, this is fine. I am giving the email ID as and then I am trying to give a message, your message. Here also I add one validation over here that your the text should have at least 30 characters. So you can see you need to write more, at least 30. So if you are writing more than 30 here, so if you submit this, okay, then after this you can use maybe the server side, anything which you are using, maybe PHP or ASP technology, okay. So this is just a client side validation example. I will explain this example now. So here is my contact us form at this place, and in this contact us form I have used the control. I have used a form, okay, and over here I'm using a label element, okay, to display the text. And one new thing which you will find over here, when I create this label, okay, I am giving first name br label, and then I'm saying input id, okay, and I said id first name, name, type equal to placeholder. This thing I already explained yesterday. And then this is the required, it means it must have a value. Last name, okay, placeholder, this. Then I use a contact number, you can see contact number, and at this place I said max length is 10. It means it will not allow me to add more than 10 characters over there. Then I have an email ID. This place is email ID, okay, and I have a text area, this place. Now I'm coming to my JavaScript file or jQuery file, this place, and you will find this place the programming logic I am writing in my JavaScript file. So initially I will start my this JavaScript with document.ready, as I explained yesterday, and then I am using a input. Input is element, okay, given in your this. I have input, so all inputs are here, and I said the function which I am going to use is focus. It means whenever input element got a focus, I try to do what? I try to say this dot CSS background color, and this is the background color which I provide. Yesterday I gave one example to you in that over here I clubbed more than one style at this place. I try to use a curly braces, and then I add a multiple CSS properties inside that. In this example, I am giving the another property. I am setting another property, but not inside the first one. I am giving individually. Okay, so both are fine. Whichever option you find is easy for you, you can use that. So what I want to do is, I want that whenever input element got a focus, it will display the background color and the font color, something which I am writing over here. After that, what I am doing is, I said if input focus, this input element lose the focus. So for that I am using a blur event. In JavaScript we have a blur event. It fires whenever element lose the focus. So I said input dot blur, and whenever the element will lose the focus, I try to give the color which is given over here. After that, I use one ID selector message. Why I'm using this ID selector message? Because for these elements which are given inside my HTML file, all I use input, but for the message I use a text area. This is the text area, and when I create a text area over here, you can see I have created the ID named message. So I want to change the color of this text box also, sorry, this message box which I am giving, and for that I am using a ID selector over here. The coding is same as this. Now the next coding I am using here, change text to uppercase. I want to do what? I want that whenever I write something in my input box, it will change into uppercase. And for that, you can find here, I said if the element name is input and the event is key up, it means at the moment when I release the key, you can find on the browser here, for example, if I press the key and I'm writing A, you can see, okay, see, until I will not release the key, you can see it is not becoming cap. So when I release the key, see, up. So it means the event will fire at that time whenever the key is up. Okay. What I want to do is I said this dot value. Yesterday I explained this. This means the current object or current element. So I said this dot value equal to this dot value to uppercase. To uppercase is the name of the function. I change that value to uppercase. Now, another thing which I am trying to use here is I said if I will use the first name or the last name, over here the values which I will enter, it must be alphabetic A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So I want to make sure that any other character or symbol cannot go inside the first name, only the alphabetic A, B, C, D. And for that, over here you can see I am saying hash input. You can see this place. Yesterday I told you that I can manipulate element also using the attribute names. So I said input is element name, ID. Okay, so ID is here attribute, and which ID I am talking about. I said if ID is F name or a L name. Now in my this HTML part you can see F name and the L name. So after that I'm writing over here, you can see input ID equal to F name, comma input ID equal to L name, and this event will fire at what time? When I press the key, not key up. This is key press, means when the key is down. So what I want to do is I said I want to use one variable, and that variable has a value. You can see value is ABCD. I am writing ABCD in a caps. Okay, and I am also writing ABCD in a small, and then I am giving one white space. It means I want to allow people to add the alphabetic value in a caps, in a small, and it may be a white space. Then after I am saying var one variable code, and I said if window dot event. Now window dot event, why I am writing this? Because I want to find the event. Then I said code equal to e dot key code, because when I will press the key I want to get the ASCII value of that. Okay, so that key, so I'm writing code equal to e dot key code. Now after that I am coming to my else part, and I said else code equal to e dot which. So I told you yesterday, so not yesterday, in the morning session, just I told you which I use which. Okay, so to find the event, which event, okay, mouse event or key event, then I use a code equal to e dot which, and then I'm saying var char equal to, now you can see over here what I'm trying to say. I said key char equal to string dot form char code. It meaning to say is whatever a key I will press, I want to get that value. Okay, and I want to change that value into a character, and then I want to say where value is that. After that, if arr is array, just like a variable, and dot index of this, the parameter which I am using is the char, equal -1, means if my computer will find any character which I press in this place, okay, then it is okay. Otherwise it will do what? It will say return is false. Okay, so this is the first example in which I want to restrict people to add only the alphabetic values A, B, C, D, E and a byte space. After that, there is another element I am using in this program for my contact number, and I want that the value must be a numeric. So for that I am also writing a coding over here. Again you can see I said if, sorry, here hash cnum is ID key down, and inside that I am giving the function. Now here allows special chars plus arrows. You can see I want that whenever I see, if I am giving the number over here, okay, I also want that someone can remove. If I will not give this feature to someone, and if I am trying to add something over here, okay, and someone maybe want to remove, so how can he remove? So I want to give that option to someone here. See, any other character which I want to add here. See here, I'm trying to press, but I'm not able to enter any other value. So these are the key codes which I want to allow. Okay. And then when I comes to this part here in else part, you just need to check the key codes. What is the key code for 8 means the which character I'm using. Like I use a 13. 13 is for the enter. Okay. I have 16, 35, 39, 46. All these are the events, the key codes which I use. And after that I'm saying over here, if it is not a number, stop the key press. Now I use this coding and I said if event dot shift key means I want to allow person to use a shift key, and key code is 48, or key code is 57, or key code is 96 or 105. Okay, and I also want that the value cannot exceed this. Okay, so this is one function which I use again here, prevent default. Okay, I want that if someone is trying to press the key event and I want to restrict that person to enter the value, I will use the event dot prevent default. So in this case, people cannot enter any other value rather than number. After that, I am using a one for my email. At this place, you can see I am writing here input type equal to text, input type equal to email, and I want to give a border, okay, and a shadow. Whenever it is empty, you can see over here, this is for bind event, okay, means then when I will click the submit button. Here is one another event for my to check email format. You can see this place. This syntax is to check the email ID. I want to check whether the content which I am going to write inside this place, it must have a valid email ID, and I am using a characters over here. Starts with W. Okay, it means I can use the words over there. Then over here I am saying that it must have @ again I can use some words over here. Then I think I want that it must have a dot, okay, and over here he must write the words, so we can validate it something like this. Now check this place. I am trying to write the values inside my message box, but my email ID is not valid because I need one @ and I need one dot. Okay, so I also need after @ some words. So if I try to press this, your email format is not valid. See this place, your email is not valid. So because I need something over here also at this place. If you found that this is okay, it will say validated and you will get the message. So the full explanation of this activity, the activity which I am writing over here, the full explanation of this activity is also given in your LGs. If you find problem to understand, you can get back to me. Just I request to go through the LG guide. The full explanation step by step is given in the LG. I will use another example now related to events. I am trying to make an image gallery in this program, just a simple program, and look at this place. I just want to make one web page, and in that web page I want to use events. What I have done here is I create one web page, and in this web page I want to use a toggling event, and I want that when someone press this, so it will display the this place. I want to display the value. This is coming just because of the space which I have in my desktop. This is resolution is very small, otherwise these all will come in one line. Okay, and the program is, when I click on this, it will display the these flowers, and when I press this one, it will hide. Okay, so this is just an example which I have created, and how I created this is just a toggle. In the previous example I explained is toggling. This program explanation is also given in the hint guide. Okay, you can find it on the TRIM folder. So if you have any question, then you can ask your question, and after that I will go to the next part of the event in jQuery, how I will use Ajax. If you have any questions, then we can spend 5-10 minutes. Yes, please. Any question? I hope that you all have a background of JavaScript and jQuery. If you don't know how to use JavaScript and jQuery, then it will be a problem for you to understand. So if someone is not that good in jQuery, so I request you to spend some time on jQuery and JavaScript also before you start to take any batch. Okay? Anyone have a question? Then you can please ask your question, and then we will try to solve the problems if you have, and otherwise I will move next to the next session. Rajiv, do you have any problem to understand this topic? Yes, Rajiv, can you hear me? Hello?
Sukesh,
Yeah.
Sukesh, because I don't have a background of jQuery and JavaScript,
Mm-hmm.
basically, so I'm literally finding some difficulties to understand this concept.
Mm-hmm.
So if you jump right again, it will be good. It will be good for me.
See, the prerequisite for this course is the one must be good in jQuery and HTML. As I said, if you don't have a background for JavaScript and jQuery, it will be hard for you to understand. And I also have a time constraint.
Yes. Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing.
I think I think you can spend some time on jQuery and JavaScript.
Can
Before you give your
websites where I can get?
I
Can
think
you share a few websites where I can ask?
yeah, directly you can you can use the jQuery website, official website, or if you want to understand easily, you can also use W3 School. You can open W3 School, and all example are given over there also. Tutorials point you can find also there. Everything is given over there for jQuery.
Tutorials point also.
I request you to send. Yeah, you need to spend some time on the jQuery before you give your FSAT. Okay.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So because I am not able to synchronize everything, because till yesterday it was fine, HTML and this one, but today I am not able to synchronize this completely. Because once
I
you
was
talk about
see.
it,
Do you have a background of background of any programming language?
Yeah, I am teaching that because I am taking the corporate training also in Cognitive.
So you take a batch of Java or C# or not?
No, I'll take Java batches, all Java, JSP, Servlet.
Okay, so we use the events. We use events in Java. Yes.
Kubernetes Spring.
We use events in Java.
WT and Swing we use that.
Yeah, we use events in Java, and we have an event handler in Java. Yes.
Yes.
The same thing is over here.
Yes.
We also use the same thing in JavaScript and jQuery. The only thing is maybe you are finding a complication in the coding part. The syntax of the jQuery is not same as the syntax in the JavaScript. Okay. Remember one thing, JavaScript, the coding is same as a Java, you can say, but it's not like in the jQuery. Okay. Yesterday I gave one example to you regarding regarding this jQuery. I told you that in the beginning of every jQuery program, what I do is I always write document.ready function. Okay. Why I always write this in the beginning? Because I want that my web page will load in my computer memory first, and then whatever I want to do, I will do that. Okay. So I will just very briefly I will try to explain to you whenever I want to make a jQuery code. Okay, to use any selectors or because jQuery work with a selector only. Okay, so I need to write the name of that object. So it always starts with a $. Over here I need to write the name of the element, whatever name of the element, or whatever ID selector, or maybe the class selector. Okay. After that, over here dot means now I will use a function. Okay. So which function I want to do? This function. And what is the handler? Okay. You are going to make a function inside that. Yes. Okay. So this part will close at this place. Okay. And then if I want to use any function, okay, or any event, like we use a mouse listener, okay, mouse listener in Java AWT, the same thing it is here. I am trying to say that I want to use a flip ID selector, and I want to use a bind event. I want to use a bind function with the click event, and the function is this. Okay, when I use this function, this is an event handler, and what action it will perform? It will slide down to the panel. So this is something which I want to do. Okay, so I just I'll request you again to spend some time on jQuery. Otherwise, it will be very hard for you. Okay, if you have a
Yeah.
JavaScript background, then I think it's okay.
No, I have to work on both JavaScript and jQuery because
Hmm.
it will be easier than once I'll look at this JavaScript and the jQuery. Because one time I have to see that all those things, because it's new to me
Hmm.
that all those what you are writing that the terminology, what you can say, the terms. So I can just go through that and probably it will be helpful.
Okay, if you have any doubt, you can just drop me an email and then I will get back to you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
sure, sure. I'll do that. Sure. Thank you so much.
Any other person who find any difficulty in today's session, then I think we can discuss and then we will move forward.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
No, sir, I understood this.
So you have a background of jQuery and JavaScript, right?
Yes, sir. jQuery not that good, but
Okay.
JavaScript, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So spend some time on jQuery, okay? So that you
Yes,
can
sir.
handle the batches properly. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. I can hear.
Able to hear me, sir?
Yeah. I can hear. Hmm. So any problem in jQuery or JavaScript?
No, sir.
Okay, this is just simple. Nothing. It's very simple to use jQuery. Only the thing is you need a little bit background of JavaScript. Okay. Only the syntax is changed. The way we write a program in jQuery is the syntax is changed. Otherwise events, most of the events are same. Okay. Functions are same.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Puneet. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Puneet,
Hello, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Any problem?
Yes, sir. Audible. No, sir, I didn't find any problem understanding this JavaScript and jQuery concept. It's easy to use, sir. I think.
Okay. Thank you.
JavaScript I can understand. I can easily use jQuery also. Thank
Yeah, you just need to take care of the syntax of jQuery, okay? Rest is same.
you. Yeah, sure, sir. Sure.
Okay. Yes, Ravi. Ravi Kumar. Hello. Okay, then I will start the next part of this session, that is regarding the Ajax. Any person have a background of Ajax? Any idea what Ajax? Yeah, good morning, Dinesh.
Morning, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so do you have any idea what Ajax?
Ajax, no idea, sir.
Okay. So I will explain, okay? Thank you. Pankaj, I want to connect with Ravi Kumar. Pankaj? I want to connect with Ravi Kumar. Hello. Okay, no problem. Hello. Hello. I will get back to you. I think there is a audio problem. Hello. Yes. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Hmm. Okay, I will explain once again for you. Bind and on, both method I use to attach multiple events with my HTML element. Okay, the only difference between the bind and on is I use a bind method for the element which I have at present. Okay, if I create one element dynamically and if I will try to use a event with that element, it will not work. So in that case I will use a on method. So both method used to bind the multiple events with my HTML element, but with my own method I can also deal with, or I can also make an event with the element which I will create in the future. Okay, means bind is only for the present element and on is for the present and for the future element. See, I give the example in the morning also. I will explain it later. Sorry, this time again. Wait, just give me a second, okay? I will open that program. Okay. Okay, let's just look at this example. Simple example. I was using a bind method, okay? And see, I am trying to use bind method. I will give you another example here. See, it's not visible. Okay, then give me a moment, okay? Give me a moment, please. So is it visible now? Okay, just have a look here. I am what I am trying to do here is now I want to bind a event, okay? And I want to bind what? I want to bind the event mouse over event and mouse out event. Okay, two events I want to use with my this btn. Okay, this is the name of the ID selector. It means I have a button here. So this button is already here now. It means this button exists in my web page at this time. So I can use a bind method. But in the next example over here, you can see with my click event, you can see this example. I use a button, and in my button I said I want to use a click event. And whenever I will use a click event, I want to create a paragraph. This paragraph. Okay, so now this paragraph is not created yet. If I will click on that button, so after that my computer will create one paragraph. Okay, so now whenever I run this program, you will find that, see here, when I will run this program, I have this paragraph which is already created, yes. But if I create a paragraph by clicking on this, okay, so it means if I will use a bind method, it will work with this paragraph because it is already created, but it will not work with this paragraph because this is dynamically created. So I want that it will work with both, so I will use own method instead of bind. Okay.
Okay, now I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Now, actually at that time I won't see that output. That is it.
Okay, you can see now if I click on this button,
Yeah.
okay, you can see this it's hidden. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yeah, now I understand.
Thank you. Any other person? Any doubt? Hello? So this person is not on his chair, poor pa.
Hello. Am I
Yes?
audible?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear.
good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Yeah, so I did not have that much difficulty to understand this concept because I have background of jQuery and JavaScript.
Okay, then it is good.
Only the thing is I need to do practical.
Yeah. That's what I said, that you need to do a practical example. I suggest that must do a practical example before you go for your FCT. Okay.
Yes, sure.
Thank you. So I was asking you that anyone have a background of edX? Yes, Puneet.
This is responding to the question. React is used to create a thread in a web page so that they can respond asynchronously to the web server to get the data. That's what I can understand.
Can you give me with examples? Can you let me understand with the example?
So let's say if I'm going to upload a file on the Gmail, we can upload multiple files on the Gmail by using a program. So we can a single file on the can upload multiple files on the server by creating files on the web page. So this is the example that what I can understand about Ajax. Whenever I want to do the file upload functionality in my application, I can just use Ajax to upload multiple files on the server at the same time without making multiple requests.
Okay. Thank you. I will give you the answer. Okay. Any other participant who has a background of this Ajax? I was trying to connect with Ravi Kumar. If I'm not sure he's there or not. Hello, Ravi. Do you have any knowledge of Ajax? Why we use Ajax? No answers. Anyone who has a little bit background of Ajax, please give me an answer. Anyone, please, who has a little background of okay.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. Ajax as the against like its full form is associated with JavaScript with HTML. So basically, whenever any event occurs in my internet page, so whole page used to get loaded. Okay. So let me consider one example of my registration form. So whenever I filled up all data and after clicking that button, so validation is happening, right? My whole page is loading. So whenever if I want to load not only whole text, rather specific element. Like in that case, I can use Ajax. Like whenever I'm like doing any kind of event with a text box, then in that case, Ajax is kind of like some event should occur. So I'm thinking about that.
Yeah. Okay, I got an answer. Thank you. Okay, I will explain edX, but before that, how edX came in limelight, or how, why I got the need of edX. Okay, before I start to do that, first I want to give you a demo for just a small example. I will display on a paper only. I will try to let you understand the server and client architecture, okay, how client and server connect with each other. I want to use this. Is it okay now? Showing the full screen. Okay, thank you. Let's try to understand the client-server architecture, okay? What I want to say is, let's say there is one machine, and this machine I am using, this is my client machine and a PC, and over here, let's say I have a web server. Now, for example, I am using a web server of any portal, like let's say I want to maybe see the cricket score of any cricket match, live cricket match, or maybe I want to see the share market current prices. Okay. Now, before we go there, first try to understand how client and server works. Okay, so over here, this is my client machine, and this place is a server. Now, if I am in the same place, okay, maybe in the same computer, and I am not using any technique which is related to web, and I want to connect with the client and server. This is my client and this is my server in the same computer or maybe somewhere else, and what I will do is I will try to use a protocol, TCP/IP protocol. Using TCP/IP protocol, I can connect with any computer on the network. Okay, so when I use a TCP/IP, transmission control protocol, and internet protocol, transmission control protocol will do what? It will help me to connect with one machine to another machine. IP is internet protocol, means that particular computer has one specific ID, that is the IP address of that computer. So by using the TCP/IP, I always connect with another computer on the network. If I want to get something from this place, I will send a request from my client or you can say any machine, and then I will send that request to another machine, and that machine will give me the response, whatever response I want to use. But the point I want to say is, when I use a TCP IP, I am always connected with the another machine using the network media, maybe the cable or maybe the Wi-Fi. Okay, so this is the concept of TCP IP. Now when I am using a technique in which I am using a web page, it meaning to say is, again I need a protocol, and at that time I need a protocol is HTTP. Okay, but the difference is what? TCP is a protocol which is always, it is a connection oriented. A connection oriented means two computers are always connected. And when I use a client and server, a client, a machine, and a web server, a client is trying to connect to another machine using a web technology. So I have to use a protocol which is HTTP, and HTTP is a connectionless protocol. It means client is not always connect with the server. Reason being is, if one client is always connect with the server, maybe the another client will not get the opportunity to connect with the server. So what we do is, in this scenario, I am using an HTTP protocol which is a connectionless. So if one client is trying to send a request to the server, he will send the request, okay, request for any web page. Web server will try to find out that web page in the website, and if he found that web page, what he will do is, he will give a response to him, and it will come to my client machine. That is my response. Okay, just try to understand my meaning. Client will send a request to the server. When server receive the request, the connection between this machine and this machine will close. Then after that, when server find out that page, what he will do is, he will try to give a response back to this client. But when he send a response to this client, with the response, he also send a file which is a cookie file. Why he send the cookie file along with the response? Because he will keep the information of the client inside this cookie file, and when he will send back this to the client machine, these cookies are stored into the client hard disk, okay, in the client machine. Now if next time, you can see, when he will send the response to the client, after my client got the response, the connection will again close. Now the next time, if a client try to connect with the server, okay, so he will send a request. Now how can my server can understand that this request is continuous request, means this client already sent one request to me, and this request is the continuous part of this request. Now what he will do is, when again next time when client will send a request to this server, he will also get the cookie along with the request, and it will come to web server. Now web server will get the request along with the cookie, so he can understand that yes, this client already billed to me, and now he is asking for something else. So this is how it works in my HTTP. Now what it happens, when one client send a request to the server, and he will give a response to the client, okay, so the whole page will reload in the client machine. For example, if I want to check the score of one cricket match, and if I am not using an Ajax, what will happen? Client will send a request, server will give me a response. After that, I will get the page load on my this client machine, and after that, if I try to check the score, maybe after 1 minute, so what will my computer do? It will send a request again to the server. Okay, the server will again send a response. but on the client machine the whole page will reload again, mean the whole page is refreshed. Now the question is what? The question is, my client machine is not asynchronously connected with the server, means it's not always connected with the server like we are connected in the TCP IP. And for example, if I am following the cricket match, I want to get the updated score. I want that my client machine must be asynchronously connected with my server, and my web page which I am using on my client machine whole page will not refresh, only the partial part of the web page will refresh. So in that case I need one technique, one technology, that is the Ajax. Ajax, okay, means what? This technology will help me to asynchronously connect with my server, mean I no need to send the request and response again and again. I am asynchronously connected with my server. And another feature I have is my whole page will not reload, only the partial part, means the content which I want to reload, only that part will reload. Now what will happen like this? It meaning to say is like this, the traffic, network traffic will not increase, and I am always connected with my server. So this is the use of the Ajax. Now in this example, in this session, what we will try to understand is how we can use a Ajax using a jQuery. Okay, so I hope that you understand the concept of Ajax now, and I will try to explain more when I will explain some methods of jQuery. For the time being, I'll start the session related to Ajax. This we already finished. So this session is about Ajax, using Ajax functionality using a jQuery. Any person who did not understand my point? Yes, any person who did not understand my point regarding the example which I displayed on the paper? I hope you understand. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me, okay, while I'm explaining this topic to you. Puneet, yes, please ask your question. Yeah.
Sir, here, let's say for example, I want to get the live cricket scores from the server. So, these scores will automatically feed to my web page without requesting the server again and again.
Yeah. This is the beauty of the Ajax. Someone will feed the score in the web server, and I am using Ajax. I am connected with my web server asynchronously. This is something happening behind the scene. Okay, it's not like every time I will send a request and it will give me response. So my client is always connected with the server, and only the partial part of my web page will refresh.
Fine. So means I am always connected to my web server without requesting the server again and again.
Yeah, that is the beauty of Ajax.
We get rid out of the limitation of actually protocol using Ajax. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for the I got it.
Yes. Anyone who have a problem to understand this topic, one example. I have created one animation on my this computer regarding Ajax. I will show that animation to you. I hope you can see my computer and
John has created a website that forecasts the weather report. He wants to display temperature details, which change very frequently on the website. As the temperature details come from the web server, the web page needs to be reloaded every time, which unnecessarily increases the web server traffic load and wastes a lot of time in reloading the web page. In such a case, you need a mechanism that updates the data on the website without reloading the whole page. For this, you can use Ajax. Ajax, also known as asynchronous JavaScript and XML, is a means of using JavaScript to communicate with a web server without loading a whole new page. The word asynchronous means that the user isn't left waiting for the server to respond to the request, but can continue using the web page. In other words, you can say that only the required portion of the web page is updated. This is known as partial updation of a web page. The given figure displays the process of how Ajax works. Firstly, an event occurs and the browser creates an XML HTTP request object and sends HTTP request. At server, the HTTP request is processed and a response is created. After this, data is sent back to the browser. Further, the browser processes the data using JavaScript, and thus the page is updated with the data partially. jQuery provides various methods, such as load, get, post, and Ajax, to make Ajax calls. Nowadays, various websites and search engines use Ajax, such as Google Map website, Google Search Engine, and Gmail.
so we have a different fields where we can use Ajax. I give the example live cricket score. I give the example of stock market. Another example is we use a map in websites like Google Map we use. Another example we have is for weather forecast. We always use a mobile, and in our mobile smartphones we have a widgets, and in those widgets, whenever we move from one place to another place, automatically my mobile get the temperature of that particular location. I get the all weather related information of that location, and maybe maybe the temperature change, so it is not like the every time whole page is going to be reload. It is just the part which is changing, maybe the small part, so only that portion will update. So this is the beauty of Ajax. We will start this topic, but before that we will take a break of 10 minutes and then we will start Ajax. Okay, if you have any questions regarding the morning session, you people can ask your question just when the next time when we'll start this session. Okay, just please ask the questions. If you have any doubt, don't keep in your mind. Okay, just throw that question out. Okay, we'll take a break of 5-10 minutes. Break.